What's up, YouTube family? It's Malvern here today with another video, and I'm super excited to deliver this one to you because it is on a subscriber case study. So a subscriber decided to trust me to help them with their specific financial situation, and today I'm going to help solve their problem in real time. And they wanted me to share this with you guys on YouTube so it might help somebody who may be in a similar situation and would provide a little bit of a roadmap. So let's begin to map out how we would solve this specific situation. And let's just jump right into the subscriber's profile. So they were very detailed with the information that they gave me. They sent me an email with their 4 major numbers. So let's go over that right now. So for their income, they bring home monthly $2,544, and most of that comes through Social Security and annuities. So we are dealing with a retired individual here. Then we look at their expenses. They are spending $2,776 a month. So like I said in my previous videos, most Americans are spending more than they actually bring in, which technically is a bad thing, but as we begin to redirect our focus, we can begin to solve that. So we're not making any judgments on this individual. We are just solving a problem here. So they have $232 in negative cash flow. So that's what they're burning every single month. Then we have the debts listed out here. They do have a mortgage and a personal loan, but the balance was not given to me, so we're just going to leave that out. And for the sake of this video, we are just going to be looking at all of the credit card debts that they do have. So because they are negative cash flow, what we are going to do here is the pre-game work before we jump into velocity banking. That is this step-by-step system. That's why I like this so much, because it's easy. Everything is predicated on the numbers. So let's just jump right into how we would do the pre-game work. Right, so there's 3 goals in the pre-game work. Goal number 1 is to increase cash flow. Goal number 2 is to improve your credit score. And then goal number 3 is to acquire a debt tool. 3 easy steps. So let's just go through that right now. So the way we increase cash flow, we must either increase income or decrease expenses. So because this person is a retired individual, we can look at getting a part-time job, even if it's only 20 hours a week at $15 an hour, which is usually what most companies are starting people off at. That would bring home an additional $972 a month. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you guys that you can eliminate debt without even increasing your income. So this is just icing on the top. I'm going to show you guys how to eliminate debt without changing any of the income. We're just going to change the expenses, and we are literally going to eliminate debt within a year. So I'm going to show you how we do this with this specific individual right here. So let's focus on the expenses, right? So for the pre-game work, what we are going to have to do is we're going to have to go into conservation mode for 3 to 6 months. And what I mean by that is we are going to have to live on the bare minimum that we need to survive in terms of our expenses. So I listed out all the expenses right here on the side. And I was looking at all the ones that we can change. And there's not much, but what I was looking at is the utilities. So even if we're able to drop the utilities by $25, that would be a big help. The groceries too as well, and miscellaneous, if we are able to drop that by $25, that would be an amazing savings. Also, we're looking at Masterclass right here. So for those of you who are not familiar with Masterclass, that is I want to say application where there are experts in their fields that teach you about specific skills. So my contention is that this is an educational platform, and YouTube is actually a free educational platform. So thinking about going into conservation mode for 3 to 6 months, we're going to put this on pause. So we are not going to cancel it. We're just going to pause this for 3 to 6 months just so we can increase our cash flow. So this is going to be gone. And Sirius XM, very similar. It's a radio. There's free alternatives that we can use for 3 to 6 months. So planning on canceling that as well. So those were the things that I looked at as far as expenses. And when you do that, it does reduce the cash flow by a significant amount, at least enough for us to consider doing what we want to do in terms of the pregame work. So this is actually a scenario that I like because when most people are negative cash flow, they actually don't have any debt tools at their disposal. So this is a great example for people who don't have any lines of credits or even don't have any credit cards with balance transfer access. So I'm going to show you guys that you have to look at what you already have and be able to utilize that. So I looked at all of their debts and their credit cards, and they have a Tires Plus credit card with a 0% interest until April. So being creative here with the 0%, I turned this into a pseudo debt tool. So it's not technically a debt tool, but it's something that we're going to leverage at 0% interest until April, until we can acquire a debt tool. So that was the strategy that I mapped out in terms of increasing our cash flow and reducing our debt and expenses so we can improve our credit score, right? So let's look at how we can do this. So it's December. Let's just jump right into January of next year. So what the plan is that we are going to shift all the expenses that we can pay with a credit card onto the Tires Plus credit card. And this is very similar to the video that I did on velocity banking with a credit card. The strategy is going to be the same. We are going to look at expenses that we can pay with a credit card and expenses that we cannot pay with a credit card, separate them out, and it will divide what we bring in terms of income and how we pay our expenses, right? So everything that we can't pay with a credit card, we are going to, as soon as we get paid, pay that off. So there's no outstanding balances. However, the things that we can pay with a credit card, we are going to put on this 0% credit card because it won't be acquiring any interest, and that frees us up with the remaining amounts that we did not use to pay off these debts, which is $885, right? So we have that. And with this amount of money, what we are going to do for the month of January is literally wipe out the Union Plus credit card, which had a $406 balance. So that's gone, which increases our cash flow by $25. And then we're going to dump the rest of the money into the Best Buy credit card, which is the highest remaining credit card balance we have. Plus, it's at 30% interest rate, which is kind of criminal because that is a ridiculous amount of money that you have to pay every single month, especially with this high balance. So we're going to try to wipe that out as quickly as possible. So with the remaining balance, that's $479 that we did not use from this. And we'll dump that into the Best Buy credit card, leaving us with a balance of $3,521. But then we have to factor in that the interest is accumulating in the month. So we'll tack that on another $88.15. So you can imagine that if you were not paying off this Best Buy credit card, how quickly this can stack up if you're paying $80 every single month. And that's when I talk about reverse compound interest working against you. So something that I definitely want to ask this individual is if they have savings. It wasn't disclosed to me through the email, but if we have savings, it would make a lot of sense to shift the savings into paying off the Best Buy credit card because it is costing you $88 a month, whereas that savings account is probably only giving you $1 a month or so. That's the way I like to look at it. So I'm going to ask them if they have any savings that we can dump into that credit card. If not, still, we are going to solve this problem without increasing our income or savings. I'm just going to show you how we do that. So again, since we're putting this amount on the Tires Plus, the Tires Plus amount balance goes up to $1,915. Hopefully this all makes sense. If it doesn't, please leave a comment in the comment box below and I'll try to clarify as much as I can. So Tires Plus credit card goes up, Best Buy amount goes down, but we add the interest. So then we go into February and we're doing the same thing again, right? So with the Best Buy credit card, remember we also have the minimum payment that we are paying. And plus, since we wiped out the Union Plus, all this money can now go into the Best Buy credit card because we don't have any other credit cards that we are utilizing. All the expenses goes onto the Tire Plus credit card. So again, that balance goes up to 2,800, and then we are paying down the Best Buy credit card, and that goes down to $2,545. And then again, we have to factor in the interest, but the interest cost has gone down because the amount is not as high as it was last time. So we literally save $20 a month just by shifting everything to this 0% credit card. And it shows you the power of leveraging debt tools in your favor. So again, then we go to March, we have the outstanding balance. However, by this time, I'm hoping that our credit score has improved. I don't know this individual's credit score per se. I sent them an email to give me that information. And as long as your credit score is 680 or higher, you should be able to get a debt tool from your bank. And the good thing about this individual is that they do have a mortgage, which means they have access to a HELOC, which most people are probably not going to have. So the HELOC will actually give you a higher dollar amount based on the equity in your home. So if you have, let's say, $30,000 in equity in your home, you can tap into that. And usually what most banks will do is that they'll look at how much equity you have in terms of the debt, and they'll give you a specific amount. So I can't give you a specific number on this video because I don't know those numbers offhand. But let's say that we're able to get a HELOC for 15,000, right, in March. Because remember, the 0% ends in April. So we need to get that debt tool before April so we can wipe out all these debts. So let's say in March, we apply for a HELOC, we get approved for 15,000. Then we can do the chunk up to 66%, right? And we don't even need to go all the way up to 66%. We just need to wipe out the Best Buy and the Tires Plus. That is about 6,000, right? Which is way less than the 66%. So let's say we pull out 6,000, we wipe this out, we wipe out the Tires Plus before the balloon interest payment comes. And not only did we wipe out all the credit card debt is gone. We now increase our cash flow by $154 because the Best Buy credit card is gone, and by $36 because the Tires Plus credit card is gone. So that's another $190 back in our pocket, which we can then use to do velocity banking on this. So what are we going to do? Starting in April, once we pull out the chunk, pay that off, right? Then our money, our income goes into the HELOC and we begin to pay it off, right? We pull out our expenses, we dump the income in the HELOC, and we keep repeating that process until the HELOC is paid off. Now, obviously, this is a lot of numbers on the board, so I did not have time to write out how quickly we would be able to pay off the HELOC. But by my estimation, based off of this, without even getting a part-time job, we would be able to pay this off in 1 year. So we're looking at January 2025, we'll be able to pay this off. We'll probably be able to pay it off quicker, but I like to be a little bit more conservative. So if we just look at January 2025, we literally wiped out all of their credit card debt within the span of 1 year without even increasing income. All we did was redirect our focus on what we paid off, and we were able to do it within a year. So then now we look at all the options and all the alternatives after our debt is paid off. So now what this individual can do is, if they want to, depending on how much is left on their mortgage, they can begin to do velocity banking on their mortgage. They can pay that off. They can pay off the personal loan, Or if they decide that they want to 10x their income, they can use the HELOC to get into investing into real estate, investing into dividend paying stocks, or investing in themselves, starting a business. I know they are watching masterclass, so they're probably improving their skill sets. They're an individual who likes to learn. So that's definitely an option. And then that is the power of velocity banking. So we speed up the debt payoff process so we can begin to focus on other things such as building income, recurring income that we can leverage to increase our cash flow, right? So just imagine, let's say that this retiree was willing to get a part-time job for 20 hours a week at $15. How much faster would they be able to do this? Just think about that for a second. And how much faster would they be able to go into investing, pay off their mortgage, pay off the personal loan if they just got a part-time job? So this is the power of velocity banking. It's not that this is a better strategy. It's just a strategy to get you where you need to go to much faster and efficiently than some of the other strategies out there. And that's why I like this one so much. Now, I hope you guys got so much value from this video because this is a very eye-opening video, and I'm hoping my subscriber who's watching this take notes and realize that within a year you could be debt-free just by following these basic recommendations without even increasing your income. And that is an amazing feeling to know that you're going to be debt-free and you're going to have the ability to invest into what you want, to pay off your mortgage if you want, and that is completely amazing. My hope and my wish for everybody is that if you are in a similar situation, even if you're not retired, but you have negative cash flow, that you can see that there's not much that you have to do in order to get back on track. So I want to wish you all an amazing and blessed day, and I will have more videos like this in the future. Thank you all. Take care.